Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hollywood Knitter Podcast. My name is Allison and I'll be your host. I'm recording on Tuesday, March 8th, 2016 from my home in Los Angeles, California. And I'm very excited to be talking to you today. I'm going to be talking about my FOs, I have two, my whips, just some random gossip and upcoming travels. And this is my cat, Cloudy. Hopefully she will take a walk soon. We'll see. Anyways, let's get right into it. It has been absolutely beautiful in Los Angeles last 2 weeks. It has been sunny and 80, though we did have a brief rainstorm. The El Nino we were promised has not really been materializing here in Southern California. I know a lot of other places have been getting rain, but I don't mind beautiful weather in the winter. I really don't. It's nice. I just can't wait for the time change so I have more time to enjoy it after work. But that will be soon, coming up this weekend. Let's start with FOs. I have two, as I said. The first one is my Courtyard Hat, and this is by Melissa Thompson. Here it is on my head. And this is a two-color hat. I did it in Plucky Trusty, which is a worsted weight, and 100% merino in the Jack of all trades and early light. This was some leftovers I had. I think for each of them I used like less than half a ball, like 50 or 60 yards for each one. So I actually still have some left, and this is after making a previous hat with it. So I'm getting a lot of wear out of this. And I knit the larger size. I followed per pattern. The only thing is it's a little tight for me. And I know some of that is the cabling and carrying it and the floats and et cetera, et cetera. I don't think this is going to be for me because it's just a wee bit too tight, but I have a bigger head. So this will be going into my gift box to find the proper recipient. But I do love the two-colorness of it, the way the cables meander or kind of a slip stitch, barely a cable. And how it comes from the top. You have a cool little thing where they all come together. I thought this was a great and easy worsted weight project that kept you interested and makes a really interesting looking hat. So I was looking for something to do, and I put it in my queue forever ago. And I don't know, it was super easy to knit. I was doing it in between doing other things. So I'm happy to be done with it. Let's see if Cloudy wants to wear it. That will stay for a second. And I recommend the pattern. It is a paid pattern. I can't remember how much I paid. Again, that's the Courtyard by Melissa Thompson of Sweet Fiber Yarns, and it is for worsted weight, though I saw a lot of people had done it in different weights. So it worked well. The other one I finished, giant big project. I finished my Shellseeker by Heidi Kermeyer, and gosh, I ended up, as I said, almost knitting this twice when I did it before. Here, I'll even put it on. I can be able to put it right on over this. It is not the sweatshirt total shape that it calls for, because I definitely put less ease into it. I like my stuff with less ease. That's just how I wear things. And so I talked about last time how when I had knit it the first time and got like more than halfway, there was just so much fabric right here that I couldn't handle it. So I ended up ripping it out and reknitting it and making it so it was my size. So I did all these weird modifications. I followed like the extra size around here. I had more of a boat neck thing going on. But I changed that, modified it. So I ended up following like a weird small, medium sizing for all of this. I ended up having enough for all my long sleeves, which I really did want. I have my kangaroo pocket. I don't know if you guys can see if I stand up a little, but it fits really well. I did end up having to use every bit of the black because that's where I did a little more, because I have it at the at the ends, have it at the edges. Now, I had just the tiniest bit when I was done. And what I ended up doing because I talked about the bottom, that rolling problem I had. Because this has so little on the edging in terms of ribbing, it only has like 4 rows of a 2x2 rib at the end of stockinette, so it didn't prevent it from rolling up. So I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I think I can do something else to prevent it from rolling. And I tried this. I sort of just did it on the fly. It wasn't even something I found. But I had thought about doing some crochet. And initially, I tried to do crochet on the inside. So I just did like a line of single crochet. And the idea is that it was flipping up and that would keep it kind of flipping forward. But it didn't really work so well. So what I did instead, which I love, and it keeps it totally flat, is I did the line of single crochet on the outside. I did it right here on the very top row of black, because at the end I did 1 row of stockinette before I went into the rib, and I just single crocheted through that and carried it all the way around, so it looks like a set of vertical, horizontal on the vertical. You can kind of see there, and it doesn't flip at all, so it worked out really well. Now, I did block this, and this is out of Miss Babs' Yowza, which is 100% superwash. And I originally just did my bucket wash, and it wasn't drying very fast. And I know superwash needs a little heat to bounce back because it was stretching a lot. So after a day of that, I ended up putting it inside out in the dryer and putting it on low and getting it to probably about 80% dry, and then drying the rest of it outside. And it is so soft now. It's perfect. It's so comfy that I'm just so pleased with it. I can't wait to have a place where it's warm enough to wear it. Though, I don't know why. It was probably a blocking thing. I'm looking at it now, and my bottom is not as... I did like a reverse almost. It looks like I have more rows on the bottom. I know I did it. It must be a blocking thing where my front looks longer than my back. Probably has to do with the weight of the pocket, pulling it down a little bit more. Anyways, so happy to be done with the sweater. Really happy with how it came out. Can't wait to wear it. It's definitely probably gonna wait for its debut somewhere special to wear it, to bring to probably the Knockers knitting retreat, because you know knitters will appreciate it, and it is a little cool up there in the mornings and stuff, so this will be perfect as a layer to wear, and with the pocket, it's just, oh, so excited. So yeah, I finally finished a sweater this year, and since I finished them, I've been working on my 2 whips. I only have 2 right now because one of them I really want to get done, and that is my Lefty. I have gotten quite a bit since I last saw you. Let's see. So the marker is where I was last time, so I guess I've gotten 6 or 7, which as you get to the end or you get down later, it does take a lot more to do these rows. I have this much more of the solid. I have no idea, I haven't weighed it how much it is, but I kind of have an unofficial goal right now of trying to do 1 leaf a day. I've been pretty good at it the last 2 days, but it's to the point in the project where I just need to get it done. So now it's the powering through and getting it done so I can cast them for something else and put that in my purse. But I'm still liking it. It's the Miss Babs Oyster, one of her fingering weights, and then these are footlights from Stone Ridge Mountain, I think, that a friend gave me for the contrasting color. So it's definitely a pattern, except for the leaf. I still kind of glance at the directions a little bit, but it's easily memorized, and I'm liking it and continuing on with it. But I do get a little tired because my other project is also fingering weight, and that is my blanket, which at the end of March will be 9 months. It is 7 inches right now. 7 by, I think, what did I say? It was going to be like 60 inches wide or something. So that is a fair amount of knitting, 1 row at a time with a different color. So again, I'm doing this in the linen stitch with scraps from sock yarn scraps. This is my version of a sock yarn blanket, and it's going to take me at least 2 years is how I'm going. and I am on my March. Picked it up for March, and I'm trying to get to my 3 inches that I allow myself to do a month. I think I'm already, like I said, at 7, so I've got like 2 more inches to do. And I like how it comes. It's pretty mindless. It takes a long time. It takes me 20 minutes to do a row. And lately I've been getting a lot of knitting time. I've been kind of a slug. I'm getting I think a bit of the winter blues, which hits me every so often. So I've been kind of hibernating a little and watching a lot of TV. So I've been getting a lot done on it, which is not a bad thing. I'm really I love the colors. I know how pretty this is going to be when it gets to the point where I can actually use it as a blanket. But I am very pleased with how it's coming so far. Now, upcoming, because of course, when you're slogging through projects, you dream. And I said I was limiting my dreams to my queue. And so what I think I want to do are some of the older projects I've had in my queue. One I pulled out. It's actually a product I have balled up in a bag with the directions for at least a year, if not more. And this is going to be a softie toy. I'll show you the pattern. It's going to be a little lamb by Susan B. Anderson. I can't even remember when this was put out, but last year when I was going to, I found just some scraps I had of this boucle white that I can't remember what I had it for, and then some just brown. And I was going to do a sheep. So it shouldn't take me very long. I'm very excited about that. And then the other project I think I'm going to cast on for is a beaded cowl, a lace beaded cowl. It's called the Jeweled Cowl. I can't remember who it's by, but it uses beads, which I haven't done a beading project in a while, and then it uses lace that's been in my stash forever. So I think after I finish the Lefty in terms of home knitting, and then that's going to be my at-home project. The softie I'll just do as a palette cleanser kind of as we go, because it shouldn't take very long. And then I'm going to probably cast on a pair of socks as my to-go project and dive into my yummy sock yarn and figure out a pair of socks to do. I think I actually am going to intentionally do a pair of socks for my mother, because I've given my mom, because she's basically the same foot as me, say size foot, I've given her 1 or 2 pairs. It's not like she asked for them or she's like a huge advocate of knit socks, but she does like them and it's easy to knit them. And it would be nice to have a gift for Christmas to give to her that's knit. So that's kind of the plan for the upcoming projects. And hopefully that will take me through to March and I will be good. Now, so what's been going on? Work, living, life, you know, the normal stuff. But planning on maybe some travel this weekend. My boyfriend is out of town again, down in Yuma. So if I can swing it, I may drive down on the weekend and come back on Monday. It depends on what work looks for me for Monday, whether I could take a half day or something off or come in late, which would be pretty late because I would drive back that Monday morning, so I wouldn't get to work till 11 or 12. And if that doesn't go, I'm definitely going the following weekend, which is the second week when he drives back. I already have my train ticket to take the train, and that's when I usually take the train to see him, and then from LA to Yuma and drive back with him on Sunday. I take that Friday night, and then I spend Saturday at the hotel and walk along the river, and then hang out with him Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday we get up and breakfast and go. So that should be fun. I have all of my April pretty much planned out. I bought my ticket. Well, Knockers is coming up. I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to the Northern California Knitting Retreat. Yay! And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Austin with friends, my girlfriends. And I'm going to see an old friend who I don't see very often there too. So that will be cool. And then the weekend after that, I got my tickets for Maryland Sheep and Wool. Woo woo! And that is really just to go and see my very good friends, Emily, Jamie, and Michelle, who we normally meet up at retreats, but everyone seems to be having babies, and so they're not able to go to the same retreats. So I know if I go to Maryland, I can see them all. So I will be doing that. It'll be a really quick trip. I'm like the red eye on Thursday night, get in on Friday, and fly back on Sunday. But it will be plenty of fibery fun with fabulous friends. And listen to me with all my alliteration. Woohoo! So that will be exciting. Then in the next thing, I'm supposed to go to Zombie and Apocalypse. I'm actually on the fence about that now because timing wise, it's a little tough in terms of work. So I'm going to give myself to the end of March to decide to see if I can swing it. I kind of need work to kind of go on to see where we're at and whether I could take that time off then. And plus I didn't realize that it was the week of Memorial Day holiday. So it's already kind of a short week. And anyways, I'm still hoping I can go, but I just need to evaluate and see that. And then I've been planning, other things. Summer comes up and my niece and nephew have to come see me and we got to go do things. The other thing I want to share with you is this beautiful Afghan behind me. I know I shared on Instagram, but 2 weeks ago, or right before I recorded last, so it might have been 3 weeks ago now, we went over to my boyfriend's mother's, and his grandmother is an avid crocheter, like the whole family. She's in her 90s and she still crochets, but as part of when they were growing up, she used to make them Afghans and different things. And his mom actually crochets. She brought out some of her crochet. She does really beautiful like cardigans, lacy cardigans, and she does blankets, and she's very, very talented. But as part of the showing of stuff, she actually went into the basement and pulled out these Afghans that his grandmother had made for him. And there were 2 or 3 of them. And of course, the oranges and the chevron, I fell in love with it. It is definitely acrylic. It is definitely heavy. It is definitely awesome. I actually need to shave it because it's got a lot of balls. But I was really struck by it. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so nice. And she's like, take it. I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. And I was like asking my boyfriend, I'm like, well, when did she make this for you? And he's like, I don't know. I never liked it. I'm like, what? He's like, those are not my colors. He's like, probably he's like in my early 20s, which would put it 25 plus years old. But it smelled a little musty, threw it in the washing machine, dried it, and it's awesome. And it is my new favorite blanket. It's the cat's new favorite blanket. She loves being on top of it, snuggling under it. It's just awesome. It pleases me to snuggle under it. I have too many blankets. Do you guys have that problem? Like too many blankets for the couch. I have Afghan I've knitted. Now I have this one. I have multiple quilts that my mom has made me that usually are on my couch. Like I need more cold. It's not cold enough in LA. I know. It's a horrible thing. So that's kind of all I have out. Like I said, just living the life and plotting away on my knitting and plotting my upcoming projects, which, I'm going from fingering to a lace. So that will take me forever. Luckily, it's just a cowl, but the beading, I'm sure, will take me. And then I want to see where I go from there. So anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope to talk to you again soon. That's a wrap from Hollywood. All right, let's stop that. Let's do a rewind. Let's say where you can find me first. I'm Allison1031 on Ravelry and Twitter. And you can come join the Hollywood Knitter podcast group on Ravelry and leave me a message or find me there. Now that you know where to find me. That's a wrap from Hollywood, where fantasy meets fiber and dreams are knit. Bye, everybody. My goodness, you're furring me.